This is the Sandman podcast on TV Podcast Industries, and we're discussing the Sandman Season 2, Chapter 2, Ruler of Hell.
Hell is yours now. Surely you will agree it is too valuable, too dangerous for me to entrust to anyone else.
Why dangerous?
This realm is heaven's shadow, or more precisely, heaven's dark reflection. Its ruler wields more power than any entity in any other realm, with perhaps one exception.
This is your revenge on me.
Perhaps it will destroy you. Perhaps it won't. But I doubt it'll make your life any easier.
Welcome back, fellow dreamers, to the Sandman podcast on TV Podcast Industries. We are discussing everything to do with the Sandman Season 2, Chapter 2, Ruler of Hell. I am one of your dreamy hosts, John.
I am your other host, Derek. Welcome back, fellow dreamers.
Yes, welcome back to our second incarnation of this Season 2. If you are just joining us, please head on over to our website where you can subscribe to any dreamy or nightmarish podcast player of your choice so you can listen to all our coverage of the Sandman series. We also like to hear your thoughts and theories on everything to do with the Sandman, so please send in your emails to feedback@tvpodcastindustries.com. You can go to our website where you can leave a voicemail of up to 90 seconds long to provide your thoughts for the podcast, or head on over to our Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/TV Podcast Industries, where we leave a spoiler post for each and every episode of the Sandman Season 2. We have our first 6 episodes that were released there on July the 3rd, and that are up there on Netflix at the moment, and we are currently podcasting our way through these 6. The remaining 5 will then be released on the 24th of July, this coming week, followed by a final episode that will be released at the end of July, on the 31st of July. So keep tuned in to the Sandman podcast for all our thoughts on these remaining episodes. Shall we get on with our spoiler-filled discussion?
We absolutely should. Yeah, we're doing these episodes one by one because, of course, we want to make it last. This is the final season of the show. Only these 12 episodes left to go, and then that'll be it for the Sandman on TV. So we want to go through each one individually as we go.
Yes. Yeah. Derek, who gave us what, where, when, and how for Chapter 2, Ruler of Hell?
Well, the executive producers for this season of the show are Alan Heinberg, Jamie Childs, and David S. Gore. As I mentioned before, Jamie Childs is the director of each of the episodes of this season as well. And this arc of the show is based on issues 21 to 28 of the Sandman comic, also called Season of Mists. The episode teleplay for this episode is done by Ameni Rozsa, who wrote episode 5 of season 1, 24/7. That's the one where John Doe took over the minds of the people in the diner, which was a pretty brutal episode.
Certainly was.
So this is marginally lighter, even though it takes place in hell, John.
Well, not just hell.
Not just hell, though.
It's a two-parter. It takes part in hell, but then it takes place back in the dreaming.
That's right. Yeah. So at least they get to have a bit of an experience over in the dreaming as well, rather than just dark and death and murder and all the rest of the stuff they did in 24/7. So, John, do you want to tell us the synopsis for Ruler of Hell, Chapter 13 of the Sandman?
Sure. Finding hell eerily empty upon his arrival, Dream is confronted by Lucifer, who, wary of their duty, has abdicated the throne and released all souls and demons from it to roam other worlds and realms. After sending Mazikeen away, Lucifer persuades Dream to ceremoniously cut off their wings, and with that, they exact their revenge as they make Dream the custodian of hell. Burdened by the new responsibility and talking to Death about it, Dream returns to the dreaming, which is soon flooded by delegations of supernatural beings seeking dominion over hell. Among them being the gods Susanna no Mikoto, Odin, Thor, and Loki, a delegation from Fairy led by Cluracan and Nula, as well as Lord Kildakin's servants of the Lords of Order and Shivering Gemmy of the Lords of Chaos, and a group of demons led by Lord Azazel, Chronozon, and Merkin, who demand hell is returned to them. 2 angels named Remiel and Duma descend from heaven as observers for the Creator. Dream welcomes everyone in his palace as guests and throws a banquet for them prepared by Tamaris to watch all and decide who is the worthy recipient of the key to hell. During the night, as Cain provides the entertainment by cutting up his brother Abel, Kildakin's servant Shivering Gemmy, Lord Susano, and Odin approach Dream with various bribes to sway his decision. Requesting a meeting, Azazel provides his bribe by eating Chronozon, who was previously webbed up by Merkin, and reveals he has captured Morpheus's former lover, Nada. He demands hell in exchange for Nada's soul.
And this is a massive episode. Thanks for that one, John. Lots and lots of brand new characters here. Some who will play a big role in the rest of the story of the Sandman. Some we only see in this story here. But really cool to see so many characters being brought to life on screen here with such an interesting premise for the story. Going to go, of course, through our top moments from the episode. But the starting point here is, I guess, the expectation that Morpheus had that he was going to be going through another battle with lots of demons and with Lucifer themselves. Turns out completely wrong. Hell is empty. And it's just Lucifer sitting there locking the doors. I
love this. Absolutely. As a concept, I think it's really good.
Isn't
I
it?
mean, as you say, like, Dream says, I thought we would fight. But sort of almost against character, the devil is, but I'm tired of fighting.
Aren't you tired of fighting
Aren't you as well? You know,
Yeah.
Can't we just get along? It's kind of like, it's a bit like the Joker to an extent from the first Batman movie. But I really enjoyed that, you know, we have him standing there in front of the gates of hell. He's kind of saying, you know, as I'm coming here as Morpheus, the Dreamer King, you know, I have to come through the main gateway, even though there are many other ways into hell.
Yeah.
And yet he finds the gates already open, with hell effectively empty of all its demons and souls.
Yeah, and you can really hear that voiceover that he's prepping for a big battle, because he's going, you know, I could storm the gates because of all the power I have now. You know, the last time I was here, I was low on power and had to use my wily ways effectively to get out of here. I could just kick down the doors if I wanted to with all the power I have now. And he just walks in, and it's Lucifer cleaning up and
it's eerily empty, silent, and there's something deeply wrong, even for hell, with everything that happens in there that is deeply wrong, that there's something more deeply wrong by there not being anything deeply wrong happening.
Yes, exactly.
I kind of like this. I just like how it plays out, where it's just this conversation between sort of a worn and weary Lucifer Morningstar and this off guard Morpheus, who, as I say, is not really expecting this. You know, he says to her he's still scared of hell, and she promises that whilst he's in the bounds of hell, he will not be harmed. And we get this moment really where there's a bearing of her own soul to Morpheus, where they say, I've quit. I am no monarch anymore. I've been effectively 10 billion years in hell. And I've changed. You know, there's this kind of almost heart to heart between Lucifer and Morpheus.
Well, this was never Lucifer's intention. You know, this is what I love about the writing here. It was never Lucifer's intention to set up hell. It was God's plan that there was going to be a hell, and he needed a leader for it. So the ineffable plan, as they say, that the creator has will play out the way it played out. If it wasn't going to be Lucifer Morningstar, if it wasn't going to be Samael, as Dream calls her at one point, it wasn't going to be them taking over the role, somebody else would do it, right? So Lucifer kind of going, well, I never really had a choice in this. And not only that, what the hell did I want with people's souls? Yeah. The humans, they chose hell. Everybody that came here, they chose hell. I love the speech. That is what hell is. A place for dead mortals to torture themselves. And like all masochists, they give the orders, burn me, freeze me, eat me, hurt me. What do I get out of it? Their souls, says Dream. And she goes, what do I need of souls? You can't own someone else's soul. They belong to themselves. They just hate to have to face up to it. They blame me for their little failings. The devil made me do it. I never once made any of them do anything. Never. They live their own tiny lives, and then they die, and then they come here and expect me to fulfill their desire of pain and retribution. But I'm done with all of that. Hell is closed. I love it.
Yeah, it's so good. In a sense, it needn't have been Lucifer Morningstar here. It was, if I didn't do it, someone else would have to have done it, because it's, as you say, it's part of the creator's plan. I really enjoyed this kind of just going against type here. And I mean, even to the point where, she reminisces back to, before I became Lucifer, we were so very alike, you and I, to Morpheus. As an angel, I used to care very much about what I did. Yeah. In a sense, I'm guessing that's, why Lucifer thought rebelling was what needed to be done against this rule, because they cared so much. But ultimately, it was just a sleight of hand, fulfilling another part of the plan that anyone else could have done. And it's just that betrayal. I mean, she even says, how long am I to pay for my mistake? Effectively, we've heard 10 billion, so whatever about nada, being forced to spend 10,000 years here. We have Samael, the angel, really having no such forgiveness placed on her by the creator. Yeah, exactly. In that sense, no sort of let up of the punishment, that they do mortals' biddings, so I really like this.
Absolutely. One of the other little things that I really love about this is all Morpheus's fault as well. When Cain was sent to tell Lucifer that Morpheus was coming, he's leaving the dream realm and coming to hell once again, Lucifer went, well, if he can do it, so can I. Why can't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't I walk out on this? Brilliant. Absolutely love it. So, Morpheus has set up his own downfall here. And it ends really with Lucifer's final punishment towards him, which is, here's the key. You decide what to do with it. We were so alike once. Maybe you'll have a better way of controlling hell than I did. I'm off.
Well, exactly. I mean, I think as well, just before that, the thing, I found it really kind of poignant, really, just Devil asking Dream to cut off their wings. I'm tired of fighting, do this one last thing for me. And Dream does it, but I just loved how it was staged and done. It felt, to an extent, almost tender. Yeah. Even though there is a moment where you see Morpheus, soaring through it, but obviously causes no pain to the devil. Yeah. And
you could really see this as an icon or a painting of Lucifer having their wings cut off. Yeah.
It was really well done. And then, as you say, once outside the bounds of hell, the boundaries, Lucifer exacts their vengeance or revenge on Dream by effectively giving him the key to the realm. Yeah. I like that, Lucifer says, it will either destroy you or not. It won't make your life any easier, though. And that this is heaven's dark shadow, its dark reflection. So we have here effectively Lucifer handing over their realm to Morpheus, telling Morpheus as well that all these souls, all the demons, all the people in prison, they've either gone to the heaven, to earth, to limbo. I don't care, but ultimately, I don't know where Nada is at all.
She's gone somewhere, and I don't really care.
These billions of souls, not a clue.
I got a clue.
And I don't care because I'm doing what you've done time and time again, which is nip out for a break from your realm.
Exactly. I'm off on holidays.
And after 10 billion years, I think I deserve it. So, bye, and off she goes, you know?
Absolutely love it.
And Dream is left holding the key to the realm of hell.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember my first time reading this story. I think this arc is my favorite arc, always, just because that feeling of how the hell did this story get here? How do we have Dream with the keys to hell in his hands going, it's your choice now who takes over hell? How did this story get here? You know, the first season was about people and their dreams at night, or dream monsters coming out into the real world. You know, that kind of stuff felt like comic books. This first opening arc for the second season being about Dream going to hell and coming out with the keys to it while Lucifer goes off on a break just felt like something completely different, completely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And what an interesting concept. Let's get on to our second big moment from the episode. Let's talk about the delegates, because Dream effectively, after saying goodbye to everybody and setting everything up that the dreaming can survive without him in case he doesn't come back after his massive battle. He's back pretty quickly.
He's back really quickly.
It is important, just want to underline that it is important that Dream did set that up, so the dreaming can now operate without Morpheus being around. That is important to remember, just that they did set that up for a reason. It's not needless, let's say. It's not wasted time on screen.
Yeah.
But he does come back pretty quickly as he needs help, because
I do like him telling... I do like... But even before that, I like him telling Lucian that he is now the keeper of Hell's key and is in charge of Hell. Even though all the preparations are there, she goes, this is what happens when you leave the realm of dreams. Exactly. It's like, what are you doing?
Stop walking.
This put-upon librarian and administrator is just like, you're not helping me or this realm. The other thing I like before the hordes of delegates start arriving at the gates is he does ask Death what he should do, and he offers his sister Death the key to hell as well.
Yeah.
And but she refuses. She looks to just refuses and says, "Well, you have two choices." Well, I would say three. She gives him advice ultimately, and she says, firstly, nada will have to wait. And then she says, on the key, you've got two choices. You rule hell, or you give it to someone else. Mm-hmm. I've got to go around collecting bodies again as Death. Like, I've done it once already. Now that they're out there, I've got to go and start collecting them again. I do kind of think as well that Death's very smart here. It's just like, no, I've got my job to do, exactly. Which is ultimately what Morpheus has as well. He's got the dreams to be in charge of.
Yeah. If you didn't mess about, swanning off to hell on some kind of quest once again, you wouldn't have got yourself into this problem.
Messing with mortals.
You should have just done your job.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's to Desire's point that you say we shouldn't be involved with mortals, yet you're always involved with mortals.
Exactly.
Hob Gadling, William Shakespeare, you name it.
Yeah.
All these people, Nada, and so on. All these mortals that he has been sort of playing around with effectively.
Absolutely.
So, I like how again, he gets another little bit of dose of realism. No, you need to sort of sort this one out. And so as such, then all these suitors arrive up, and ultimately his choice comes down to, well, I need to decide who I can give it to, who will rule hell as well as Lucifer had done.
Yes.
And you get all these different suitors turning up. So who do we have here? We have Thor arrive with his tiny Mjolnir.
Yeah, it grows when you rub it.
It does.
Apparently.
But it's really tiny. It looks a little odd to me to begin with until actually he used it and it seemed to grow then.
Yeah, or at least just the power of it, whether it's small
exactly.
or not. I think it
felt like a little sort of tack hammer.
Well, exactly. I think that's the thing that's probably lost to a lot of people who've seen the Marvel movies, let's say, where Thor is quite a big character and Mjolnir is this really powerful looking weapon. in mythology, it is just a hammer. That's effectively is. Yes, it's a hammer made from a star, and it is similar to what's in the Marvel universe, but it's not supposed to look massively powerful. So here, having Thor with his little hammer that could be used to put some nails in a wall is actually probably a little bit more accurate, but it just does look weird. But he's there with his father Odin and brother Loki, who they've released for this specific purpose, because they want to have all three of them there petitioning Morpheus for the keys to hell so they can expand their realm of Asgard, because that's under threat from all of the other foes. And again, if you're a Marvel fan, you've probably heard all of these characters before. You've heard of the Frost Giants, you've heard of the Dark Elves, and here they are all mentioned here because they're from the original mythology.
Yeah, but I mean, as well, I think the interesting thing about Thor arriving here is actually hugely aggressive, and it requires both Lucien and Dream to sort of step back before we meet the other aggressors. And you have Morpheus deciding to ready the hall for a mighty banquet because they are better as suitors to discuss and not as enemies. If he just sends them away, they become our enemies to claim hell by different means. So he invites them in. We also then get to see Lord Kildecan of the Lords of Order.
Well, yes.
Or the box personification of him.
Well, I think, so Kildecan is, is kind of the cardboard box. It's the servant that does all of the speaking. And I do love this,
so good.
This moment of it where it creates a note, in the box for you to read out for yourself.
It is so good.
And it's order and chaos. So we have Shivering Jemmy of Chaos, who's the crazy little girl.
Well, the Shimmering Jenny of the Shallowy Brigade, no less. The Princess of Chaos.
Yes.
And just giving out threats. I like the turn from the little kid with the balloon to sort of the slightly disfigured face.
Yeah. Terrifying. Like out of any horror movie that you've seen, that's exactly what she's twisting herself into. And I guess this is you'd probably think of It, the Stephen King movie or book. That's
exactly.
Kind of, especially because she's carrying that red balloon with her as
definitely. You then have the god of the sea and storms, Lord Susano Ono Mikoto. So we have him come up as well, the son of Isa Miyagi.
Yeah, and his plan is to incorporate hell into the other worlds that he and his fellow brethren are creating. It's a whole group of underworlds that he wants to create. So,
And he says he will do for hell what they've done for the other underworlds, and that he's learnt so much. He used to be a fiery god, lost, again, his family as a result of his tempest, and the underworld, after being thrown there, he's learnt a lot, and so he wants to bring that for hell. So I kind of like that notion as well. And then, of course, we have Lord Azazel, one of the Dukes of Hell.
Yeah, I think he deserves his own point, his own moment, because he has his big moment towards the end. So we do have the Fae, the fairies, arriving here as well. We have Cluracan and his sister Lady Nula as well. Cluracan the player. Here, basically, anything he possibly can do to, I guess, eat, drink, and be merry is what he's there for, right?
Absolutely, I do like that. Tamaris is like, what would you like? He's like, a bottle of wine. No, make that 2 bottles of wine. And what would you like? Here's your server. Get him a bottle of wine. And I like that. But interestingly, the fairies here have arrived. Cluracan and Nula are there on behalf of Lord Oberon and Lady Titania. And it's actually, they express their reasons for being there quite quickly, which is that, it's for the benefit of Fairy for hell to remain empty, because they have been locked in a tithe of providing 9 souls a year, fairy souls to hell.
Yes, exactly. So they want that broken. They want to have it empty, so they don't have to continue providing these souls to hell as well. Anybody who watched The Excellent Sinners earlier on this year will have heard of the fairies. They were mentioned in there as Irish mythological creatures, the Fae, in there. So nice to see them here, appearance from them here. And this is again something that's really cool about the Sandman, that it just picks pieces of mythology from all over the universe and mashes it all together. So we have the Norse mythology here. We have the Fae from Irish mythology. We have Asian mythology. We have everything represented here. Order and chaos as well. Everybody's here. And interestingly, in the comic books, it was Bast was also there. So we had the Egyptian mythology represented as well in these scenes. I think Bast was offering to find the other member of the Endless that disappeared. That was the offer that was made to Morpheus for them to get the key.
And Morpheus is kind of keen for them to sort of get involved in the banquet, to see the stage show of Cain and Abel. But he will stay distant because he tells them, look, I will listen to all claims in respect of hell, but ultimately to Lucien, he is happy to observe and to watch to see how they truly represent themselves. But over the course of the evening, he is approached by different suitors. We don't necessarily get all their reasons. Like the Princess of Chaos is really, give it to us or I will torment you for the rest of your life, or the whole of Chaos will torment you for the rest of life. We've mentioned about Lord Susano wanting to sort of unite the various different underworlds that he represents. But we hear from then Odin, he wants hell. Because, first of all, he thinks he's got the remit for it, looking after Asgard, but it's also to delay and to stave off Ragnarok, because his point is that the Asgardians, the Jotunheims, and so on are all fighting over different territories. If we get hell, it will reduce the fighting and stave off Ragnarok, to which Morpheus is like, but will it, or will you keep fighting over this new bit?
Will there just be more lands to fight over? Exactly. Exactly. And then, Kildare kind of Order wants it because he feels it would be orderly for them to have it too, effectively. So really like
to bring order to hell.
Exactly, exactly. Everything should be in its right place. Is kind of his,
and offers dream essences. He's quite quickly rebuked by Morpheus because he's offering up this bribe of dream essences that they've taken from the dead, and
just before they die.
And Morpheus is, well, why would I want something that I could have collected but never have?
Exactly. If I wanted them, I would have taken them myself. Yeah, exactly. I like it. It's a really interesting concept, isn't it? Because it is Morpheus stepping away from the meal, allowing them all to interact with each other and present themselves the way they do. Thor, of course, gets drunk and starts a fight because he wants to have sex with Merkin, the demon from hell. Stopped very quickly by Morpheus, just showing the power that he has within the dreaming. This is a god. Of course, Thor there with Mjolnir, but he turned it to sand because this is the dreaming, so he's able to shape it to his own will. But it's an interesting idea. He doesn't sit down with everybody. He doesn't go into a room and ask each one individually to come to him. He walks around and each one of them comes to him. Whoever catches him comes and talks to him about it. Really,
yes, exactly.
So he's not telling someone your slot is between 1 and 1:30 for you to come and talk to me and propose your idea. He just listens to whoever comes to him.
Yeah, he wants to get that true reflection of the people that have come to claim hell.
Yeah, and I suppose the last mention is the two angels that are sent down by the Creator to watch over what's happening. That conversation that Lucifer had with Morpheus earlier on was, this was God's plan. There was going to be a hell and someone was going to be a ruler. So of course the Creator's going to want to watch on to what decision Morpheus makes as to who's going to be the ruler of hell, right? So I like that they just come down to observe what's going on. Not going to influence anything. We're just going to watch.
Exactly. And ultimately we hear from Dream, he will consider all these various approaches and announce his decision the following day. Yeah. But we get the impression that at that moment before the end of the banquet, that there are two candidates in the running to be the Lord of Hell.
Yeah, exactly.
But he doesn't say who.
He doesn't at all. So let's circle back around to the last one, because it's how the episode ends. It's Azazel providing his threat, I guess, as to what he's going to do. This stems out of the fight between Thor and Merkin, where Merkin takes Chronozon, who had challenged Morpheus in season 1 when Morpheus went to hell. Chronozon goes back to the room with Merkin and is effectively snaffled up into the webs of the spider.
So cool. I loved how that was done.
It's so cool.
It was really well done.
Yeah.
And, just the way then Merkin is saying, well, you're going to be the gift to persuade Morpheus to give hell to the demons.
Exactly.
Because you challenged him previously, so it's his revenge.
Yeah.
That's the gift we will give to him. I really like this. I think with Lord Azazel, I like the fact that, immediately he says, well, we are demons. We lived there. That's where we live. That's our home. By right, hell is ours.
Yeah.
It's not the Asgardian gods. It's not the sea gods. It's not the fairies. None of these people have ever been there unless they have died and gone to hell. That's who we are.
Exactly.
We have created, I am the Lord of hell. And these are the dukes and duchesses of hell, that have formed there over millennia.
A lot of logic in what Azazel says.
There is. I do like that Lucien is, ultimately the question here is, do you give the keys to the asylum to the inmates?
Yeah.
Like, what would they do with it? And there's a notion that there are, far greater designs at play behind the scenes from Lord Azazel.
Yeah.
And as you say, then we have the threat that comes to Morpheus in his own realm, to consider when Lord Azazel goes to meet with him. It's the only meeting where it's within the throne chamber of the dreaming.
Yeah, exactly. It's an interesting offer, isn't it? Like, he tells him, as you said, this is our home. We belong there, and I'm the leader of all the demons, so I need to have the key, and all of us demons will take over hell and continue what we've been doing for millennia, So, and then he says, and I'll give you Chronozon, and then eats Chronozon pretty quickly.
That was really good. I loved the different mouths
fabulous.
taking over, and this notion that Lord Azazel is his own universe because he's eaten so many souls. I love the sort of visual of all the mouths, and then
just as the speech passes from one mouth to another mouth, and it's so interesting.
But he offers up the Chronozon as this gift for challenging Morpheus whilst he was in hell, but it's rejected, and so there's this threat to Dream that he can also offer Nada. But if he doesn't give it, then he will consume Nada's soul in the same way that he has just consumed, as we see him eat Chronozon. So the gift was meaningless because he's destroyed it.
Yeah.
Not that Morpheus wants it. So this, this is a threat, not a bribe.
Yes.
And it's a threat to the person that Morpheus has been searching for in order to right the wrong.
Yeah.
But equally, you get the sense that, in the same way that Morpheus said he was nervous of Lucifer and hell going there, that there is some apprehension and nerves here, but he holds it back. Like, it's really well acted, I think, from Tom Sturridge here.
Absolutely.
How he kind of shows that he's holding back that.
Yeah.
And as he's threatened by Azazel, who just expects then that the answer will be yes to him.
Exactly. That is the quest that Morpheus went on. This is why he left the dreaming realm and went to hell to find Nada. And here she is, suffering once again inside the body of Azazel.
Yeah.
Love it. What a great way to end.
Really good.
This episode. And again, you're wondering what's he going to do?
Yeah.
There's a threat there. And again, I suppose overall the argument makes a lot of sense as well. Why wouldn't you give it back to the demons who were in control of that? So we'll move on to our third episode discussion to talk about how that plays out.
Absolutely.
But John, any notes, anything else that you want to talk about from this episode?
Just to say that Taramis, who is kind of the chef patron for the dreaming, is a character for the show.
Yeah.
Don't think it's in the comics.
No.
And it's played by Tom Sturridge's mother.
I was so confused by how the camera kept lingering on Taramis, because I was going, I know Loki plays a part in here in this storyline, and I know there's some tricking going on. How is this character Taramis, who we have never seen before, standing right beside Morpheus, talking away to him and giving him advice? And I was going, why is this character so important? Is there some kind of trick going to be played here that this is one of the demons who's taken the shape of somebody that is trying to get on the inside of Morpheus? No, it's Tom Sturridge's mother, and they wanted to make sure she got a good shot on screen. And she does. She's lovely.
Yeah,
she gets
absolutely.
a great moment with Thurakan. It's a fun little scene, and nice to have her on set. But I did think it was going to be something completely different from how the camera was lingering and how she had the ear of Morpheus. One I want to mention, a big one, really. I'm sure lots of people know this as well, but this moment where Lucifer Morningstar leaves Hell and leaves the key behind with Morpheus, that was the kickoff point to a spin-off series called Lucifer, created by Mark Carey in the comic books. It ran for 75 issues itself, the story of Lucifer, after he left Hell and went on to Earth, and was translated into a TV series, sort of, starring Tom Ellis as Lucifer Morningstar. So lots of people know the TV series Lucifer, where weirdly he became a detective, so it became a kind of a buddy cop comedy, starring Lucifer as one half of the buddy cop. The comics are very different to that. The central concept again of him leaving Hell behind and going off to Earth and having adventures is there. But he doesn't solve a murder mystery every week. That's not what that was. That was not connected. I know they expanded that. The show went on, I think, 4 or 5 seasons, and they did dip in and out of the mythology a bit more as the seasons went on. But I think when it started, the first 22 episodes were Lucifer helping out people who'd been murdered, which is a bit weird.
Excellent.
But it all comes from this story, and all comes from this kickoff point, which is
and
kind of
we
cool.
heard that Samael did care at one point.
Yeah, absolutely did. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. So, Derek, what did you think of this second chapter of season 2, Ruler of Hell?
I really, really enjoyed this. As I say, I think this is probably one of my favorite arcs from the comic, just because of the reaction that the storyline and the choices that were made, just the reaction that it gave me back then. And I can still remember that moment of going, what is happening here? Why has Dream got the keys to Hell, and what's he going to do with this decision? This seems so odd. Loved it, and I loved how it was transferred to the screen. There's so many cool characters in here. Seeing Loki, Loki's a very interesting character, played here by Freddie Fox, who we saw in Banana and Cucumber back in the
He's been in a few things now as well. Great to see him as Loki.
Yeah, really cool, and he's just got that Billy Idol energy. He's got that cool spiky blonde hair, looking exactly like Loki from the comic, and very Billy Idol as well, so it's kind of cool. But yes, love that. Love seeing all these other characters interact, and again having Morpheus observe everybody in the room trying to decide what's going to happen. I love that he's pretty honest with Lucien when he's talking at the beginning, going, I have absolutely no idea what to do, and he says the same to Death. What the hell am I going to do with this key here? So that it is a punishment from Lucifer to him, telling him, look, this isn't going to be a great day for you, regardless of what your decision you make at the end. This isn't going to work out very well for you. So I do really like how that plays out throughout the episode, and the scenes with Lucifer Morningstar at the beginning, where he's told of the decision that Lucifer is leaving Hell behind. I think they're some of the best written scenes so far in the show. I think they're just such a great concept. Yeah. Really, really good. How about yourself, John? What do you think of this episode?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this. I'd give it 5 MC mini hammers out of 5. I think everything you said, I like. It's a tale of two halves, really. I just thought the whole thing between Dream and Lucifer here, of this kind of heart to heart, that I'm tired and I've just had enough, and wants to close it down, quit it, and just go on a holiday, effectively, of 10 billion years of hurt, when it could have been anyone that fulfilled that role. And it's a role that Lucifer has never warmed to, because it's just having to deal with the masochists of humankind and how they want to be punished for eternity. And I like then that with the vengeance being taken out on Dream. We then have this second part to it where you have all the suitors coming for to claim their title or the reason why they should get the key to hell. But ultimately, it's still being very much this choice of two choices that death gives to Dream. Either you rule hell or someone else does, and you give it to someone else. And I think it's, a really nice little cliffhanger of not actually finding out in this episode. I like kind of the run through all these different people, from the Asgardian mythology, the sea mythology, just having sort of that, I guess, more objective mythology of the Lords of Chaos versus the Lords of Order. You have the Lords of Hell, the demons. Like, you just wonder what else, like you were saying, having the Egyptian mythology, what other stuff you could have in here. The Celtic mythology touched on with fairies, but so many different things that could have been sort of brought in here, which would have, such a great sort of sandbox to play with.
Exactly.
So absolutely loved all of that, and I think Azazel really menacing here, and I like just how it finished. So 5 MC mini hammers out of 5.
Fantastic.
Like mini cheddars, but mini hammers.
I like it, John. I like it. Excellent.
Yeah, so let us get on to our feedback. Remember, fellow dreamers, you can send in your thoughts to feedback at tvpodcastindustries.com, or you can head on over to our Facebook group to facebook.com/groups/TV Podcast Industries. You can also send in voice messages to the podcast either through our website or record a clip of yourself on your phone and email it to us at the email provided. First up, we have an email from Coffee and Vodka, who says...
Absolutely, yeah. Coffee and Vodka sent in his thoughts to us by email and says, "Greetings, fellow deity dining defenders. Watching this is so much easier than balancing a £7.5 tome while being incredibly faithful to it. From Lucifer's abdication to Azazel's menacing offer, this was a treat in every respect. The visuals, sound design, scripting, acting, and every other aspect combined to create a completely immersive experience. I don't remember Taramis, but either way, an excellent addition, adding just the right bit of wry to an otherwise often threatening tableau. So far, so still great. By the way, what did you think of this particular Thor? 5 able branding sibling sausages, endless deliberations, and master keystrokes out of 5. Peace and take care. Coffee and Vodka."
Good stuff. Thanks, Coffee and Vodka. I really liked Taramis. To be honest, and I think, just some nice little bits of dialogue just helping along, the story here. Yeah, I think all the different, sort of the range of lords and gods and deities coming in is just so good. And I do think, the whole thing between Dream and Lucifer is just absolutely grade A writing. And just how it's portrayed is so good. So I really enjoyed all of this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your particular question about Thor, and his portrayal here, this is very similar to Norse mythology. Again, another Neil Gaiman book where he wrote all about the Norse mythology in his own style. Thor is the idiot brother, basically. He's the one that can punch anything and kill it, or take on armies and fight against them, but not very smart as a character. And I like that that's this version of Thor that we see here is very similar to that.
Yeah.
He's not like the Thor that we see in the MCU, who has a heart and
he's obnoxious.
He falls in love and that kind of stuff. He's the obnoxious Thor, exactly.
Yeah, obnoxious entitlement.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Next in line to take over from Odin. Yeah.
Exactly. Good stuff. Thanks, Coffee and Vodka.
Thanks, Coffee Vodka.
Yeah. On Facebook, Dr. Bob Phillips says, "Say what you like about the entertainment offered, but it's not often you throw a dinner party for the gods with only hours to spare. Creepy and menacing, sausagey and spectacular, there's a strong sense that it's going to be the least bad decision that holds sway. Also, this episode is a good reminder you should never annoy a librarian." Very good. Absolutely. I think
Lucian's pretty good. Yeah.
Lucian's excellent. Yeah, I really like them. I do like just having Pumpkinhead and having the Raven as well, Matthew, in the background. I think it's just a nice little choice to have this threesome here.
Yeah.
And actually ably joined by Taramis as well, I think, in this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. This chorus of the dreaming, really, that their whole place has just been invaded by all of these people, and it's very, very serious, but it's their realm. They are able to put together this massive dinner party with very short notice because, Morpheus is in control, right?
Well, he can just create it out of sand.
Exactly.
It's like, it's very dry, this.
Well, if you don't like it, I'll turn you into sand, I guess would be the other part of it. Great stuff. Thanks, Dr. Bob, and thanks, Coffee Vodka, for your thoughts. Yeah,
thanks, Dr. Bob. Thanks, Coffee and Vodka, as always, for your thoughts. Keep them coming in.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, fellow dreamers, for joining us. We will be discussing The Sandman Season 2, Episode 3. More devils than vast hell can avoid. I guess it'll be an interesting decision by the Lord of Dreams, Mr. Morpheus.
We're looking forward to chatting about that one when we come back. Thanks so much for joining us this time. We'll talk to you next time.
Yes, thanks so much, fellow dreamers, for joining us until Episode 3. Keep watching, keep listening, and of course, keep dreaming.
Bye.
Bye.